Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar, Road Trip Along the Via Emilia, Castles and Food Valley. It's organized, of course, by the Italian National Tourism Board of US and Canada. I want to, of course, welcome all the participants even today, and we want to welcome you and thank you. This is, I believe, the 7th or 8th webinar of the series that we had from the beginning, and we have a large contingent, of course, from the US, Canada, and our friends from Mexico and Puerto Rico. We really appreciate you taking your time to learn more about, in this case, Emilia Romagna. This is going to be the first chapter of a multiple series on Emilia Romagna, where we'll sort of find out different aspects of this very vast regions, and a very important one that we feel for your clients and for your next trip. So now let's get to the core of the presentation. We are, of course, very thankful that Silvia Mazza is joining us today. Of course, she's the representative of the Tourism Board of Emilia Romagna, and gladly so. She will go through with us, she will sort of bring us in this beautiful journey of the entire region of Emilia Romagna. So, Silvia, I'm going to stop talking because it's boring and it's unnecessary, and I'm just going to give the floor to you. Please take it from here and just start bringing us with you in the beautiful Emilia Romagna.
Hey, buongiorno, everybody. Thank you, Francesco, for this wonderful opportunity. I'm very glad that there are so many people curious in knowing and learning something more about Emilia Romagna region. Yes, in center northern part of the country. We can say that Emilia Romagna represents the heart of Italy because it's in center north, and it stretches in diagonal from east, from the seashore, the Adriatic Sea, almost to the other side of the country. So it means that when you travel from north to south or other way around, you need to pass through Emilia Romagna. You need to cross the region. But I would like to give you some very good reason not just to cross it, but to stay and to do and to stop, definitely. And the right way to do it is to go along a kind of road trip along Via Emilia. Maybe you heard about it, everybody crosses it, everybody runs over it, but what do we know about this ancient road? Well, it was conceived by a Roman consul, Marcus Aemilius Lepidus, in the 2nd century before Christ, a very ancient road. So it was conceived firstly to connect the history-rich Piacenza in northwest to the sunny sea resort Rimini in southeast. And then secondly, to create new colonies like Parma, like Cesena, Modena, and all the art cities of the region. Well, it represents an extraordinary urban experiment because, as you can see, all the cities are equidistant. So it's very good and useful to travel along the Via Emilia. Nowadays, the highway runs parallel the Via Emilia because the Via Emilia really go through the art cities, and that's why it became the ultimate travel guide for a slow-paced holiday in Emilia Romagna. You can see all the art cities of the region, adding a mix of culture, of tradition, of fine dining. Fine dining, that's a good matter. Yeah, that's why Food Valley, what we call the Food Valley, is a very important product in the region. And this is the reason why we keep talking about it in the 3 episodes, in the 3 chapters of the webinar dedicated to Emilia Romagna. Few years ago, Forbes described Emilia Romagna as the gastronomic treasure of Italy. I'm sure you're now thinking, yes, it's true, but everywhere in Italy you can have lovely food. Yes, you are right. But let me tell you that with its 44 PDO and GPI product, that means protected denomination of origin and geographical denomination indication, Emilia Romagna has the highest concentration of certified products in Italy and in Europe. Well, for sure in the world, just because I don't think that in other countries in the world they used to certify. So we can say in the world as well. But in any case, in Italy and in Europe, we are sure about it. Just think about some iconic food products like Parmigiano Reggiano, Parma ham, the culatello, the balsamic vinegar of Modena and Reggio Emilia, some wonderful wines, the homemade pasta like tortellini and tagliatelle that you can have everywhere, but they were born in Emilia Romagna. And all of them are really traditional food. Just think of a Parmigiano Reggiano. As the consortium says, we don't produce Parmigiano Reggiano, we make it, because it's a matter of hand process, of hand making Parmigiano Reggiano. Some curiosity, we have a poll about, we would like to know what you know about Parmigiano Reggiano.
I cannot agree more. Yes, of course. We want to make sure that people are paying attention. They haven't just watching, they're not binge watching on Netflix while they're watching us, but they're actually paying attention. So yes, we have this very quick sort of question to see if you know this particular thing about, in this case, Parmigiano Reggiano. And I just launch it right now. So question goes, as you can see, how many liters of milk does it take to make a wheel of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese? You know, like a big wheel. So think, how many liters of milk does it take to make a Parmigiano Reggiano? While we do that, I believe you have some fun fact on Parmigiano you want to share with us. Am I right?
Yes, as I was saying, they still are making the Parmigiano Reggiano as they used to make it many, many years or centuries ago. And when you go to a visit, it's very nice to see. Sometimes you can witness a man, the cheese master, because each cheese factory has a kind of supervisor, a cheese master, and he goes in the big wheels of Parmigiano with an iron little hammer he knocks on the surface of the Parmigiano to hear if there are some air bubble inside, because in this case, the Parmigiano cannot be sold as a real Parmigiano Reggiano. So can you imagine, with the modern technology, still we need a man that does this kind of job. It's really fascinating, I think.
Yes. And I think that's also and just let me see a second, I'm going to close the poll right now. Yes. And in a second, I'm going to share the results. But I wanted to add the things that you were saying. I think that I'm from Tuscany, so it pains me to say it, but like I said several times, of course, everything you said about the gastronomy, it cannot be more true and more real, even from an Italian standpoint, looking into Emilia Romagna. But the few times that I visited there, it seems that one of the real secret ingredients, besides these incredible ingredients that they have, the air, the land, whatever it is, it's really the culture that stays behind. It's like this commitment to there's a right way and a wrong way to do it, and they found the right way, and they're just make the lifelong mission to pass it on generation to generation. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but it's to perfect this very artisanal way to do things, and at the end results in this really world-class product that a lot of people are copying. We don't even have to go into detail about how Parmigiano Reggiano has been sort of photocopied in thousands of different ways, but at the end, just making something that is absolutely unique, and it's identified not just a region by the product, but again by the culture and the tradition. And I feel that that's one of the great things about it. Let me show you if our friends got it right. So I share the results, so you can see that there's a 51% they got 550 liters, 46% 620 liters, and 3%. What is the right answer here?
The second one, 550.
So
It's true
half
that
of
there
the
are
people had a
huge
good idea.
fields. Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. So
And let me
that's
tell you, all the
yes.
little secrets about the precise process you can discover to the visit to the production. They're very interesting, all of them, Parmigiano Reggiano, Parma ham, balsamic vinegar. It's very nice to see how they making it, all the history behind. It's nice and interesting because after the learning you can do a nice tasting, obviously, but it's a nice way to visit this territory. The food valley is really rich in this kind of products, and the territory itself, the landscape is also very nice.
I wanted to add one more thing because I think it's just a little side note. I remember when I visited that we visited the big Italy that you have in Bologna. This like very large, it's like this Uber sort of. And they told me something that's astonishing. I should be sort of said just to share how much they are committed in keeping it real. They produce their, prosciutto, the Parmigiano, but the real Parmigiano Reggiano that is produced in the Bologna facility cannot be technically called Parmigiano Reggiano because it has not been produced in the area, even though the same ingredient, the same cheesemaker, everything, but the fact is physically removed from the area does not allow that the Parmesan, which most likely tastes exactly like the one that you get from the region, but it's not being produced there, cannot be labeled. So it's incredible sort of how they are committed in preserving the right way to do things. And I think that really shows at the end on the quality, and also shows a little bit about, the people that live there. I mean, there are people who are extremely hospitable, but they're very connected to and very proud of their traditions. And I think
Yes, that's
it shows.
absolutely true. Though we are in the same region, for the consortium that grants the rules of the production can be produced only in a specific areas, that area that go to Parma, Reggio Emilia, Modena, and a little part of North Bologna, but it's a specific area with specific cows. They don't buy milk from all over Italy. They breed the cows in that specific territory, and the ingredients are only high quality cow milk and salt. Nothing else except maybe passion and patience.
Allah.
That's it for all the product, for all of them.
Perfect.
About gastronomy, anyway, yeah, we were speaking about the experiences. Obviously, many cooking classes from high level with chef, some cooking classes with chef, or very simple how to make a tortellino. Any kind of cooking classes can be organized. In the region, we have different Michelin star restaurants. One 3-star Michelin restaurant, which is Osteria La Francescana in Modena with the chef Massimo Bottura. Maybe you heard about it. It's a very famous chef in the world's best 50 restaurants. He's been #1 in 2016 and 2018. So you see, we take food really seriously in our region, definitely. Let me tell you that also about award. Emilia Romagna has been awarded by Lonely Planet Travel Guide as Best Destination in Europe 2018. And we would like to show you a short video made by Lonely Planet.
Perfect. Let's see it.
Okay,
So many
here we
different
are
things.
again.
Yes, so many different things, and I mean it's a packed destination. So I'm not surprised, and I also have to add that the tail end we were discussing. The other thing it really is remarkable, I would say, about the entire region is similar to food. We all know that we have great food in Italy, and again, Emilia Romagna sort of distinguish themselves for items that really are historical, without which, honestly, our Italian cuisine would sort of miss a lot. Same goes for hospitality. Italians are known to be very warm people and very hospitable, but again, it looks like in Emilia Romagna somehow it's a commandment and something that is written in your DNA, because it really is remarkable. And I honestly don't know because I'm not from Emilia Romagna, but I experience it when I go there. There's a really from people that both live, work in a tourism business, but also people that don't, this very natural habit to make you feel at home, which I think, if I can speak for the travel agents, it really does make a complete difference when you actually have your client traveling around, because we all know it's great to travel and see beautiful museums and landmarks and all that, but really what makes a difference, what makes a tour pop, or makes a destination really stay with you forever, is this sort of human contact that sometimes is through a travel guide or a vendor or some of the restaurant. And I have to say, Emilia Romagna is one of the places that it's almost impossible being spending a day or a few days there and not come home with you or this snapshot of this great memory. So I'm not surprised Lonely Planet said that that was a great place to visit in 2018.
And you know, the marketing claim of our logo is Emilia Romagna, land with a soul. And when we show it, everybody agrees, especially so in Italy, that they know very well the region compared to other ones. They say, oh, that's so true, believe me. So we know that hospitality is one of our highlight, really. Beside all the monuments and everything, hospitality and welcoming atmosphere is something that you can find everywhere in the region.
Perfect. Yeah. So we talk about sort of these three sort of different stages of sort of visiting the entire region. So let's go to the first one. So today we have so many things to see, so much to do. Where should we start?
We start from the beginning of the Via Emilia in the northwest, so Piacenza, Parma, and Reggio Emilia, that first part of the Via Emilia. And we can say that the landmark of this part of the region can be the castles. Yes, we have over 70 castles in the whole region, but most of them are in this part of the region, in the land of the old Duchy of Parma and Piacenza. Well, you know, during the centuries, many nobles' family left an indelible mark in the territory, and we can see the tangible traces of this presence. They are made up of the ancient dwellings, castles, fortress, medieval fortified old villages. They are spread out in this part of the region. What we see now is Bobbio, a wonderful little medieval village. It's really a traveler's delight. So walking along the long, narrow bridge that leads into the heart of Bobbio, the Devil's Bridge, you arrive in the medieval square, and walking the narrow streets, it seems that time has stopped in this little village. It's really nice. It's really amazing atmosphere. Very beautiful, really. And
this is the top of the bridge. That's what I'm looking at.
Yes, that's the view. Yeah, and at the end of the bridge, you see the tiny village. You know, it's surrounded by mountains, and it seems that these mountains are the backdrop of Leonardo da Vinci's portrait of Mona Lisa. Historian thinks that it has been painted in this part of the region. Another curiosity is that the beautiful monastery the monastic complex of Saint Columban in the heart of the village, in the past was a pulsating heart of religious culture of all Europe. So it has a very important scriptorium and library, and that library inspired Umberto Eco's novel, The Name of the Rose, that became also a famous movie. Talking about wonderful setting, here we are, Torre Chiara. Torre Chiara, the beautiful setting of Lady Hawke, the movie Lady Hawke, because the atmosphere is so original as it was in the past, that inside there are also amazing frescoes, but the architecture, the place where they are, it's completely isolated. You see, it's a beautiful view coming from the nature, from the hills. Then we have the fortress of Bardi, the next one, a wonderful example of fortified fortress. But what is curious about Bardi is the presence of a ghost. Yes.
There you go.
Here we go. Here it is. Attention, pay attention. He was the young commander of the guard whose life was marked by the sad love story with the lady of the castle. And well, the presence of this ghost was so tangible that in 1999, with a special thermofilter camera, they captured this image. So we can say that beside the certified food product, we also have certified ghost in our region. It's not just a legend. We have certified ghosts as well, but don't worry, they are welcoming ghosts also
as well.
because in many castles you can sleep inside. They are relay bed and breakfast. Is very you can have very nice experience in sleeping in a castle. If your clients ask for an Italian wedding, many of them organizes beautiful weddings, for example. You can have a visit with the castellan, with the owner of the castle, because many of them still belong to the noble family, and it's very nice to meet them and to hear the history. One of these beautiful castles here is, well, it's not really a castle, it's a main, a country house. The Antica Corte Pallavicina is a very special place in the northern from Parma on the Po Valley. You know, the river Po represents the natural border with Lombardia, the region in the north. In Antica Corte Pallavicina, you can find a beautiful relay, a one Michelin star restaurant, but above all, the owner, Mr. Spigaroli, is one of the most renowned producer of culatello, the most prestigious cured ham. It's something amazing. When you go inside the aging cellar, in the first aging cellar, when you come in, you see all the culatello hanging from the ceiling, on the walls, with a special label with incredible names like Giorgio Armani, like people from the showbiz, like Prince Charles Windsor, because he is really renowned all over. Culatello is produced in this specific part of the region, and Mr. Spigaroli is definitely one of the most famous producers. And we have a short video to show you with Francine Segan, the historian journalist, food journalist, that shows how the culatello is prepared. Have a look.
Let's take a look at it. Thank you, grazie.
Travel along Via Emilia through what's been dubbed Food Valley and explore some of the region's specialties. Bravo!
Impressive, impressive.
You
And I
see,
can,
it's practically the inner part of the pork leg, so even more prestigious than the Parma ham. So the
no,
king of the cure ham.
I have to admit, again, as an Italian, I never had a chance to taste it in Italy. And let's face it, one thing, it's a very, as you would say, exclusive sort of cut and also cure meat that I got a chance lately to try out, and it really is difficult to explain it, especially in terms of differences. This ability to actually put something in your mouth that opens up all sorts of different flavor, and it's quite extraordinary. So it really is one thing that you don't want to miss if you visit Emilia Romagna. So we talked about Lent, the different sort of medieval borg and all that. And I actually have a question, because maybe our attendees don't know that, but Parma was awarded for this year to be the capital culture of Italy. And let's not beat around the bushes. Let's say we were not able to really fully enjoy what actually is, rightfully their sort of their role. So the question is to you: are they gonna have a makeup years? Is Parma gonna be able to host and be the Italian cultural capital for one more year? How's that gonna work out?
Yes, indeed. As practically, we haven't even started the program this year. So Parma will be capital city of culture even in 2021. It's a long year because we start September this year with the event, and we go on until the end of 2021. And it's a very particular nomination compared to the other one, because usually it's just a city, and in this case the events will take place not only in Parma but also in Piacenza and Reggio Emilia and in the whole territory. So a huge array of events. Not to miss it. In next year will be very interesting in this area.
Yeah, so basically, it's one of those opportunities. Sorry if I want to say, because maybe some of our attendees are not familiar what it really means when we say capital culture. Like, I remember when we were talking about the capital culture of Europe or Matera, and there was like, okay, I guess, well, what exactly it does entail? And then what it entails is basically a celebration of the entire culture of Italy throughout. So this beauty of the city, but it's once in a lifetime opportunity to actually go there and experience things that otherwise it would not be available, as an exhibition, concert, museum, have artwork that is specially hosted during the course of the year, specifically in Parma. So in a sense, it's very, I should put it, it's very it would be very smart to choose Parma to be one of the stop, because you will be able, just being in Parma, to actually have an overview of even a much larger sort of cultural spectrum that you usually have just by visiting any other year. So I think that's what makes it very special, and that's why we stress so much when a city gets to be the capital, because of exactly that.
Exactly. Also in very nice venues, some special historical venues can be open especially for this situation. So you really have a wonderful array of events, of cultural events that makes a visit to Parma even more interesting. Parma is also a UNESCO Creative City of Gastronomy, is really the heart of the Food Valley, and it's a very elegant, noble city, even because of his history. Many noble family reigned and rules this city, from the Farnese, the Bourbons, the Habsburgs, and even Marie-Louise Bonaparte, Napoleon's second wife, who ruled in Parma as Duchess of Parma in mid-19th century until her death.
This is
Here
of
we
course
see
not Parma. Just Silvia,
it
just to make it clear.
is.
It is Parma.
It
Okay,
is.
perfect.
It
I
is.
just want to make sure.
It's a beautiful
Okay, fine.
square with
I just
a
want to make sure that it is
cathedral,
Parma. Perfect.
made of sandstone,
The
and the
baptistry, yes.
marble baptistry. Wonderful.
Perfect.
inside is completely decorated, is magnificent cathedral. But Parma is also an important city of music and theater. And I think one of the best period to visit Parma is in October during the Verdi Festival, one of the famous son of Emilia Romagna, the world famous composer that wrote 27 operas. And to have a look, to be in Parma during the Verdi Festival can give you an idea to the bond between Emilia Romagna and opera, but above all, between Parma and Verdi. What do you know about Verdi? Let's have a look if you know at least one famous opera of Verdi.
Perfect.
I'm
Allora,
very
let's see. Absolutely. I'm going to pull up another quick poll again to see if you're still with us. There we go. That's the poll. Now, which of these operas is by Giuseppe Verdi? Is that Aida, The Ring of the Nibelung, and the Magic Flute? Now, this seems a little bit. Let's see.
I think it's embarrassing easy.
Yes,
but
you know, you never know. All right. Yeah. Well, it looks like people are rushing to to answer. Of course. Again, these polls, just so you know, these are not to offend your intelligence, but it's just really to keep it light and try to connect with you. So it looks like most of you got it right. A couple of you got it wrong. It's interesting. So yeah, 60%. I'm gonna close the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'll close the poll, and then let's see the results. Here we go. So of course, a vast majority pointed to Aida, which of course is the right answer. Mozart will not be too happy about the Magic Flute given to Verdi and the Ring of Nibelung. So Wagner has been stripped of his opera. But yes, so Aida, of course, is the correct answer.
Yes, exactly. I really would like to welcome that 13% to Emilia Romagna during the Verdi Festival. I'm sure they will never forget again. I'm sure they will keep Aida in mind for the rest of their life. Definitely, because believe me, I'm not really an opera fan, I have to admit, but I've been there twice during the Verdi Festival with some journalists and tour operators, and it's such an amazing atmosphere. People in Parma really grow up with Parmigiano Reggiano and opera. Even the Regio Theatre itself has a very interesting educational program for children up to 14 years old with a reduced opera, just to make sure, just to help children to move them closer to opera. So people grow up with that kind of music in the ear, and be there in that period. It's something you will never forget, believe me.
Absolutely. And I think sorry, I keep interrupting, but I have one thing that I thought. So we discussed it during the rehearsal, is the fact that it's unusual also the going to the opera experience in Parma, because as we were speaking, basically the byproduct of growing up with this level of sort of knowledge of the opera meant that when you actually walk in a theater, it's probably arguably one of the most knowledgeable audience that you will ever find on the planet. So it is like from the guy who usually is like a plumber or it's like a butcher, who just simply all share this common love for opera and knowledge, and therefore the performance that you see during the Verdi Festival, of course, but also in the regular season, the opera it's very high level, simply because they will not tolerate to have it at a low level, because if I understand that, they will let them know if the performance is so that you never want to take a chance on the listener of Parma. Maybe you want to go somewhere else, but that can never happen in Parma. I thought that was almost hilarious, the fact that the town just really dictated the standard, not by the fact that it's more expensive, it's the richest, or it's the biggest stage. No, simply because the audience is the most demanding. They can't get away with an average performance. They always have to be top notch.
It's true. The artist, the performer are also quite worried about the public of Parma. And the next day after the show, they always check the newspaper because the journalists interview people of Parma, and they take really, it's very interesting to see what they think about what the opera that they saw the previous night, because I mean it's a very critical public. It's like this. Exactly.
Yes, perfect. So this is the view
Anyway,
from Teatro Regio, no? Is that what it is?
no. This is not Teatro Regio. We saw it before
Perfetto.
Teatro Regio. This you can see the very few seats. This is the Teatro Verdi in Busseto, the birthplace of Giuseppe Verdi. It's a kind of jewel, a very small, always opera house in Italian style, as the many opera house we have in our region, but so small. It's really a lovely jewel, and it is one of the venues during the Verdi Festival, obviously.
Fantastic.
Yes, it is. Pavarotti was born in Modena, also one of our famous son of the region, and he's been considered one of the best interpreter of Verdi operas. Was really loved also in the region.
And larger than life. It was a myth. It was even the United States really enjoys an extraordinary number of admirers.
But we carry on our journey along the Via Emilia. After Piacenza, Parma, we arrive in Reggio Emilia. Francesco, I have one question for you. I don't know if you know this curiosity. Do you know what do the Italian football team, the President of Republic, and Reggio Emilia have in common? That's quite strange combination, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I have no idea.
I'll tell you. The Italian flag.
What? Why?
Oh yes, the famous tricolore. We have also a picture with a tricolore hall in Reggio Emilia.
Why is that?
Well, the tricolore, the Italian flag, raised during the official or sports ceremonies, was born in Reggio Emilia. It was conceived by a man from Reggio Emilia at the beginning of 18th century. And for the Northern Republic of Italy, and after the reunification of Italy, it was so beloved, that kind of flag, that they decided to adopt it as national flag. Here it is.
Cool, I didn't know that.
And also to visit the place and to know the history is also something interesting.
Perfect.
Reggio Emilia is also a lovely art city, not too big. The cities in our region are not metropoles, and as in many other cities in Italy, they have a small pedestrian city center, so that means that you can walk. All the beautiful highlights are in a walking distance. So sometimes, according to, if you would like to do some visit to museum and so on, well, you can in one day or even half day, you can just walk around. And being a pedestrian zone, they're very nice. You can experience an Italian lifestyle and live like a local, have an aperitif in the squares during the sunset, where the rays of sun illuminate the facade of the cathedral with sandstone and pink marble. Very relaxing atmosphere. Nice highlights and monuments in Reggio Emilia as well. And I would like to mention a very interesting way to visit this area. It's a so-called dome tour. There are many churches and cathedrals with amazing frescoed domes. We have a couple of pictures about these domes. They are.
Here we go. Wow.
a huge fresco. We always think about the Cappella
That's
Sistina in
beautiful.
Vatican, painted by Michelangelo, but there are also some amazing examples
Oh,
of
wow.
a fresco dome. This is one, and we have 2 or 3 pictures that show perfectly.
Wow.
And it's very nice to do a dome tour, Piacenza, Parma, and Reggio Emilia. All of them, they have a lovely fresco
So
inside the
beautiful.
churches and basilicas.
It's
Another
incredible.
place, yes, it's really amazing. Another place in Reggio Emilia that I would like to mention is the private collection Maramotti, with an incredible collection of work of art, ancient till very modern one. And it's nice to know that it is housed in the old Max Mara factory. Max Mara is a famous Italian fashion brand from Emilia Romagna. And talking about fashion, I need also to mention the Fidenza Village outlet, not far from Parma, a wonderful outlet where the most famous, the best designers are at best prices. So can be very interesting after a half day immersed in culture. Well, a couple of hours shopping,
Why not?
really
Why not?
iconic Italian brands could be nice. Maybe not so interesting for husband's credit cards, but I'm
But
sure that
yeah,
lady would appreciate.
of
And
course.
very close to the Fidenza Village outlet, we have another unmissable experience in the area, the Labirinto della Masone. It's a maze.
Oh, wow.
You see, yeah, that's one of
Incredible.
the largest maze in the well, not in the territory, in the world, made by bamboo plants. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
very nice to try to,
Fantastic.
very funny to try to find the exit through the bamboo alley of this nice
Right.
um, maze. And the maze has also a nice museum in the inner part and a restaurant which is managed by Mr. Spigaroli, the
The guy.
Culatello man. You see,
So,
everything is intertwined.
oh,
Food,
wow.
experience, culture, art,
That's amazing.
everything.
That's
You
really
can mix everything together for a wonderful experience in Emilia-Romagna.
fantastic. Wow, this I don't know how to thank you. There's like a wealth of information. I'm sure that the head of our attendees are exploding right now just because of the extraordinary number of things and the variety of things, which really is unusual. We touch everything, from the food to the beautiful architecture, the countryside, the culture, and of course, get down to the shopping. I mean, it's just really mesmerizing. And once again, don't worry if I'm talking to the attendees, if you haven't retained all the information we're given, don't worry, you will have a chance to actually ask questions, and we will sort of be distributing material online so that you will get plenty of this information. But once again, this is just to give you a glimpse. But now I'm actually very excited because we have a little surprise guest, somebody. It's always nice to have, of course, local like Silvia talking about their own land, but I think it's even more special sometimes to have somebody who enthusiastically see it with a foreign eyes, and sort of decided and have seen the entire world, and they decided that that specific location, even if not it's their hometown and the place they're coming from, it's so special to them. And so it's always great to hear the point of view from a foreigner. So I believe, Salvatore, if you can make her visible and have a chance to hear from her, I believe we have a special guest. If she can show up for a second,
Yeah,
I
we
would love
can
to
say
hear from her.
we adopted her.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Okay, and yeah, I mean, she's glad. I mean, like, there's
Oh, yes.
not a much better place to be well, what do you call it? Welcome as well as you would
We
do in.
should give her the citizenship, the Emilia
Of course.
Romagna citizenship,
Okay,
definitely.
let's
I
see if
would
it's
love
Francine.
that.
Hello, Francine. Can we hear you?
Yes, can you hear me?
Perfect.
So it was so wonderful to see that video that Lonely Planet made. It was mouthwatering. I'm sure everyone will agree you want to eat everything. But one thing that I want to underscore is that going to Emilia Romagna watching the artisans make those foods is something that will change your life. To see a craftsman so love their work, you feel it the moment that you see them working with these materials, and it enhances the flavor and the taste of everything that you try, from that wonderful culatello that I watched Massimo make, to the balsamico, to the Parmigiano, everything. It's really a must when you visit Emilia Romagna. The other thing is that we've all been cooped up because of COVID. And so I want to thank you, Sylvia, for telling us all those places to go and visit. And I highly recommend that everybody plan for 4 trips as soon as we can travel, because you absolutely have to do Emilia Romagna 4 different times, 4 different months. As Sylvia said, in October, Parma is phenomenal. But then you have to go to Modena during May for Motor Valley Fest, which was great fun for anybody who loves cars and action. But then there's the wonderful southern area for a summer vacation, Rimini, Fellini's birthplace, and it's actually the 100th year anniversary this year, and they have so many wonderful things planned. But Rimini is one of my favorite spots to spend the summer. It's just got so much to do, and there's so many little hill towns, and the Emilia Romagna website has lots of the names of the cities and things to do near there, because it's really 2 months worth of things right from Rimini. Go up to Ravenna and all the other little towns. So that's just a tiny reason why it's one of my absolute favorite places in the entire world.
Doesn't she deserve Emilia Romagna citizenship?
Of course she does.
We must try a way to give a citizenship Emilia Romagna.
Of course.
It doesn't exist a regional citizenship, but we must try a way.
Of course.
And I love going there because it's such a fascinating area to research recipes, because not only are these wonderful products made there, but there are so many dishes to discover from every season. You know, Sylvia, as you mentioned, the tagliatelle, tortellini, so many other things. The coppia, the wonderful bread from Ferrara, which is one of my favorite cities. It's this wonderful twisted handmade bread. Just a simple roll is enough for me to get on the airplane and come.
Wow. Oh, that's great. Thank you very much, Francine. This again is very valuable, I think, to me, and well-traveled sort of writers, or somebody who just has traveled as this profession, somehow feels compelled to talk about, you know, a place just because they speak to them so much. So thank you very much. So I'm going through a few questions. Actually, I have more than a question. I actually have a gentleman who actually is pointing out the Frommer's has named Emilia Romagna one of the world's best place to visit in 2020. So that also, I think, is something that you should be hanging your hat on. It's probably another endorsement of this great destination. But let's see more. I have somebody who actually wanted to see if Silvia could mention something about, to talk about FICO, but I think that, I don't know if it's part of a different presentation, if you can quickly go through that.
Exactly.
And FICO is the name of the place that I was mentioning when I was talking about the Bologna.
Exactly.
Italy.
Yeah, we have a proper road trip along the Via Emilia. So we started from the western part with the first 3 cities. In the next chapter, we will see Modena and Bologna. That means the Motor Valley and everything around Bologna, Fico as well. But anyway, Fico is a very special place. All the things concerned with the food is concentrated in this place, in Fico. You have the production in display. Well, what's interesting is dedicated not only to regional food, but to Italian food. So you will find products also from many other regions of Italy. You can see the production in display, you can taste, you can buy, you can organize short cooking classes. It's you can learn. There are many workshop and educational room everything about food in each way you like to learn, to feel, and to taste is possible to do in people.
Yeah. One more question I have here. They say, what will be the best area to stay in order to do private experience to the areas that produce balsamic vinegar, Parmigiano Reggiano, La Pancetta, and also they mention if there are any luxury properties or places they should be pointed out to them. I guess if you have sort of that kind of sort of customer or client who's, you know, money is not an object and they're looking to have sort of luxurious experience
Yes.
in
Yes, as there are so many things to talk about, I didn't point and mention that each place where you can sleep and so on. As I said, in many castles in the area of Piacenza and Parma, the castles of the Duchy of Parma and Piacenza, you can sleep. There are wonderful relay and charming bed and breakfast. In Modena, there is the very exclusive bed and breakfast from Massimo Bottura. But well, let me tell you, if you have specific requirements, we can write down some list or something, send you some pictures. As tourist office, as tourist board, we can give you any information or information material, such as picture, videos, any kind of information. And obviously, as tourist board, we can also can give you the right contact if you would like to know some specific offers in terms of price or some example of tours. That's something we don't do, but we obviously know exactly the right partner according to which part of the region you would like to see. We can put you in contact with the right partners to find a nice offer.
Yeah, now I'm going to read the last question just because there's so many, but you know, I don't want to take too much of your time with our attendees. Somebody actually is asking where would be the ideal place to make a base if I want to explore most part of Emilia Romagna. I'd say if I want to do most of the things that you discussed here today, this Parma, Reggio area, I know it's hard to say, but if you had to pick one of the town where I should be based, where should it be? That's the question.
Well, definitely the easiest way, as you see, Emilia Romagna is a very wide region, quite big. But I think that Bologna could be a good place where to sleep. And then, well, Bologna is the international airport also. Is the town that we will speak about in the next chapter, but it's not really in the middle of the region, but almost. It means that from there you can go to the west, Modena, Motor Valley, Parma, Food Valley, and then from there you can go to Ferrara, northeast, the Renaissance town. You can go to Ravenna, the town of mosaic. Bologna, it's really a nice place. If you would like to base in one city, well, that's the answer. Otherwise, a road trip along the Via Emilia, I really suggest.
I have one personal favor. I have one personal favor. It would be Reggio Emilia just because the high-speed train station is designed by Calatrava and it's an absolute modern masterpiece. So if you ever get a chance to get off, pay extra attention to where you land, because to me it's almost a cathedral in the middle of the countryside that it's remarkable. So with this, I want to thank you.
Via Emilia is really a backbone of the region. As I was saying, the highway runs parallel to it. The high-speed train obviously go in this direction along the Via Emilia. So it's very strategic to use the Via Emilia as mark point of the region.
Perfect. So with this, I want to actually thank you, Silvia. Of course, thank you also Francine for her comment, which is of course great. This concludes our today's webinar. Before I let everybody go, I want to tell the attendees to look out for our survey email that is going to come in your mailbox very soon, and just look into it. it's very important to get a feedback from you to tell us what you think about these presentations. If there's anything needs to be changed, if you want other information we haven't provided yet, we will take this comment very, very seriously and try to adjust and so that we can actually serve you better. And then, of course, before I let you go, yes, please.
Yes,
Silvia.
Francesco, I would like to say goodbye to you. You know, now it's 8 o'clock here. Well, it's aperitivo time, or even it's past.
Oh,
So
yes,
I would like to
of
say,
course.
I would like to say goodbye to you in
No,
Italian
don't do that.
aperitivo way. Sì, some
No.
pieces of
Not
Parmigiano
fair.
Reggiano
Not
with
fair.
few drops of balsamic vinegar on tops.
It's not
We
fair.
will
It's not
speak
fair.
about this wonderful product in the next webinar, talking about Motor Valley and food, about Modena and Bologna. And obviously, I would like to make a toast to all our attendees with a nice glass of Lambrusco wine. It's aperitivo time. It's our way to say goodbye to you.
Thank you.
So,
Grazie.
thank you for being with
Thank
us.
you.
And
Grazie,
arrivederci.
Silvia. Arrivederci, Silvia. And of course, before I leave everybody, I want to thank our colleague from the office in Toronto, Salvatore Savrina, from our office in Los Angeles, Emanuele Fabrizio, and of course, from our office in New York, Caterina, Cosmo, and Marzia. Thank you very much. I'll see you the next one. Enjoy the wine. I hope you know.
I will.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.